If you are over 60 and still spending money on magnesium pills, hoping they will fix your sleep, your muscle cramps, your stress, your digestion, or that strange, tired heaviness that seems to settle deeper into the body with age, I want you to pause with me for a moment. Not because magnesium does not matter, it absolutely does, but because one of the biggest supplement myths older adults keep hearing is that a pill is always the easiest answer. And when it comes to magnesium, that belief can become expensive, frustrating, and deeply disappointing. Because here's the truth many people are never told clearly enough. A lot of magnesium pills are not absorbed very well at all. You buy the bottle, you swallow the tablet, and a surprising amount of it passes right through the body without doing what you hoped it would do. That is why so many people keep taking magnesium and still feel the cramps, still struggle with sleep, still feel wired and tired, still feel tense, and still wonder why nothing seems to change. So today I want to walk you through 6 foods that can help deliver magnesium in a way the body often uses much more effectively. And even more importantly, I want to show you why food can sometimes do a better job than the supplement shelf ever could, especially after 60. When digestion, absorption, and mineral balance matter more than ever. Because your body was designed to work with real food. Food comes with fiber. Food comes with healthy fats. Food comes with helper compounds that support mineral absorption. And that means when you get magnesium from the right foods, you are not just getting a number on a label. You are getting a full package your body actually recognizes. Let's start with number 6. Dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao. Now, I know some people smile when they hear this because it sounds almost too good to be true. Chocolate? Really? Yes, really. But I do not mean candy bars. I do not mean sugary milk chocolate. I mean dark chocolate with a high cacao content. Dark chocolate contains magnesium, and it also brings compounds that seem to help the body use it more effectively. It comes packaged with natural fats, which slow digestion in a helpful way and give the body more time to absorb nutrients instead of rushing everything through too fast. And after 60, that matters. Because digestion is often less efficient. Food may move through differently. Stomachs may be more sensitive. Mineral extraction is not always as strong as it once was. So when a food naturally slows things down in a beneficial way, that can make a very real difference. Dark chocolate also has another quiet advantage. Magnesium supports relaxation, and a small amount of dark chocolate in the evening can feel like a comforting ritual rather than a sterile supplement routine. The key here is quality and amount. Look for dark chocolate that is 70% cacao or higher. Choose a natural version when possible, and keep the portion reasonable. A few small squares can be enough. You do not need a giant bar. This is support, not excess. Now let's move to number 5, black beans. Black beans are one of the most underrated foods in the entire grocery store, especially for older adults trying to nourish themselves well without spending a fortune. They are affordable, they are versatile, and they bring a generous amount of magnesium along with fiber, plant compounds, and other minerals that help create a much more supportive environment in the body. Now here's what makes black beans especially useful after 60. They do not just bring magnesium, they help the body hang on to it longer. The fiber in black beans slows digestion and gives the intestines more time to extract what they need. That matters because a pill on an empty stomach may pass through quickly, but a mineral-rich food travels through a much more natural pathway. Black beans also help support the gut, and the gut matters more than most people realize when it comes to mineral absorption. When digestion improves, nutrient use often improves too. This is one of the reasons I care so much about food-first support. A food like black beans does not just give the body one isolated thing. It supports the system that uses that thing. If you cook dried beans, soaking and preparing them well can make them easier to tolerate. If canned beans make life simpler, that is perfectly fine too. Rinse them well and use them. Convenience that truly supports you is still support. Now let's move to number 4, Cooked spinach, not raw. This one is important because many people assume raw spinach is automatically the healthiest version. But when it comes to magnesium, that is not always the most useful way to think about it. Raw spinach contains compounds that can interfere with how much of certain minerals the body actually uses. Cooking changes that. Heat softens the structure, reduces some of that interference, and makes the magnesium much more accessible. And after 60, accessibility matters more than theory. It is not enough for a food to contain a nutrient on paper. Your body has to actually be able to use it. Cooked spinach also has another advantage. The volume shrinks dramatically. So what would have been a giant bowl of raw leaves becomes a manageable side dish or an easy addition to eggs, beans, soups, or grains. And if you cook it with a little olive oil, that can make it even more satisfying and easier to enjoy. Warm, simple, practical, easy to repeat. That is exactly the kind of nutrition I trust most for this stage of life. Now let's move to number 3, avocados. Avocados are one of the kindest foods for the aging body. They are soft, satisfying, easy to digest for many people, and they come with a combination older adults often need more of: magnesium, healthy fats, and fiber. And those healthy fats matter a great deal. Magnesium does not work in isolation. It works in context. An avocado provides a natural setting that helps nutrients move through the body more steadily and gently. It also slows digestion in a helpful way, which supports better absorption and steadier blood sugar. That means avocado is not just about magnesium. It is about creating a calmer, steadier internal environment overall. I also love avocados because they fit so easily into real life. On toast with eggs, in a salad, mashed into a bowl, added to lunch, simply eaten with a little lime and a bit of salt. It does not need to be fancy to be deeply nourishing. And after 60, foods that are both useful and easy to keep in the routine are incredibly valuable, because consistency matters more than intensity. Now let's move to number 2, pumpkin seeds. If you want one of the most concentrated food sources of magnesium that is still easy to keep in the house, pumpkin seeds are a beautiful option. They are small, yes, but do not underestimate them. They are dense with magnesium and bring other supportive nutrients alongside it. That matters because real food almost always works better in teams than isolated nutrients do alone. Pumpkin seeds can be sprinkled onto yogurt, oatmeal, soups, salads, or eaten as a small snack. They store well, they are easy to carry, they are easy to portion, they fit into real life without much effort. And if digestion is sensitive, there are gentler ways to use them. Soaking them can help. Using pumpkin seed butter may feel easier on the stomach too. That is an important principle after 60. The best food is not only the one with the strongest nutrient profile, it is the one your body can actually handle and use comfortably. Pumpkin seeds can help support muscles, nerves, sleep, and steadier energy. And they do it through food, not force. That is exactly the kind of support I like to see. And now we come to number 1, raw cacao nibs. This is the food many people overlook completely, and yet it may be one of the strongest magnesium-rich foods you can add to your routine. Raw cacao nibs are very different from processed chocolate. They are more bitter, more natural, less altered, and that matters. Processing changes food, and when a food is heavily processed, some of the very compounds that help minerals work well in the body may be reduced or lost. Cacao nibs bring magnesium in a very intact package, along with plant compounds that support circulation and cellular function. In other words, they do not just offer the mineral, they offer a food environment that seems to help the body use it more effectively. That is one reason some people notice a difference in energy, steadiness, and overall well-being when they start using real cacao more regularly instead of relying only on supplements. Now, I am not saying everyone needs to sit down tomorrow and eat a bowl of raw cacao nibs. They are bitter, and some people need time to get used to them. But a small amount added to yogurt, oatmeal, or a warm cereal can become a powerful little habit. And often the most powerful habits are the ones that look small from the outside. So what does all of this really mean? It means magnesium is absolutely essential after 60. Your body needs it for muscles, for nerves, for sleep, for digestion, for heart rhythm, for energy, for stress regulation. It matters enormously. But the delivery system matters too. A cheap, poorly absorbed pill may not do what you think it will. And that is why food can be such a smarter starting point. Dark chocolate for comfort and support. Black beans for affordable daily nourishment. Cooked spinach for usable mineral density. Avocados for healthy fats and steadiness. Pumpkin seeds for concentrated support. Raw cacao nibs for one of the strongest natural magnesium options of all. That is a very different way of thinking about magnesium, not as a capsule, but as a pattern. A pattern of foods that keep showing up throughout the week and slowly help the body rebuild what it has been missing. And that matters because after 60, health is rarely built through one dramatic fix. It is built through repeated small choices that work with the body instead of against it. Now, I do want to be sensible here. This is not a message to throw away every supplement blindly. Some people do need magnesium supplements. Some people absorb certain forms better than others. Some people have medical conditions, medications, digestive issues, or lab results that make targeted supplementation appropriate. But even in those cases, food still matters. Because food helps create the foundation. Food supports the system. Food builds the environment the body needs in order to use minerals well. And that is why I never want older adults to think in terms of pills versus food, as if they are interchangeable. They are not. Food does more than deliver a nutrient. It teaches the body how to receive it. So if I were to summarize this simply, I would say this. Do not assume a more expensive magnesium pill is automatically the answer. Start by looking at how often real magnesium foods are actually showing up in your life. Are you eating beans, greens, seeds, avocados, cacao, a little thoughtful dark chocolate? Because those foods do more than raise a number. They help feed the systems that make the body feel calmer, steadier, and stronger. And that is really what so many people are looking for, isn't it? Not just a better lab value, but better sleep. Less cramping, more patience in the nervous system, more comfort in the muscles, better digestion, a little more energy, a little more resilience, a little more trust in the body again. That is the kind of support I want for you. Not synthetic help that disappoints you month after month, but real nourishment that fits into daily life and gradually builds something solid. Age is just the beginning. And one of the smartest things you can do in this stage of life is stop treating food as background noise and start recognizing it as one of your most powerful daily tools. You have spent your whole life caring for others. It is time to care for yourself too. So the next time you are tempted to spend more money on another magnesium bottle, pause for a moment and ask yourself a gentler, wiser question. What if the real answer is already in my kitchen? Because sometimes the body does not need another pill. Sometimes it needs real food, used wisely, again and again.